back to a Pandas tutorial. In this session, we're going to talk about series and indexes. Let's go. As you remember, in the previous session, we talked about data frames and how we created data frames, but now we're going to talk about the series and indexes. If you don't know even about the Pandas installation and how to create a virtual environment and how to use a Jupyter notebook, please check out first videos. Okay, let's jump into coding. The first and initial step is import our libraries. Our main library here is Pandas. Import Pandas as a PD. Also, I import NumPy as well because I frequently use a NumPy here. The first thing that I want to use and talk about it is series. What is series? Series is a one-dimensional of data frame. It can be a row or a column. Let's take a look what is a series. Pandas.series. I use a tab and also I use a shift tab to understand about the different parameters, data, index, dtype, and the name. I want to pass a data. I can create a data from a NumPy and dictionary. As you remember, we talk about it in data frame. Okay, I use a NumPy array, for example. As I said, it is a one-dimensional data frame, so I can create an array in a one-dimensional. So I said data pass into a data, and also I can set an index similar to a data frame, for example, A and B and C. Okay, let's run and print S1. As you can see, 1, 2, and 3 is the value of our series, and A and B and C is the value of our indexes. If I set this array into two-dimensional, let's check this error. Implies 3. Actually, it talk about the indexes. We can remove this index. And as you can see, data must be one-dimensional. So we can't actually pass two-dimensional data into the series because the series is a one-dimensional data frame. Okay, what is the other parameters that I can to change is, for example, the name. I set a name here, for example, as a series 1, and as you can see, the name turned into a series 1. How can I use series as a row or a column in the data frame? Let's create an empty data frame, pandas data frame, and pass S1. As you can see, the series is the name of our series turned into the column name in my data frame, and 1, 2, and 3 is put it into different rows. But if I pass the series into one bracket, you can see 1, 2, and 3 is put it into a one row, and the series name turned into indexes, and the 1, 0, 1, and 2 is assigned as columns name. So keep in mind that the series is one-dimensional and can be acted as a row or columns in data frame or lonely, as you can see here. Okay, let's go and talk about indexes. First, I need to create a data frame 1, pandas data frame, and I can use a dictionary car, and the name of my car is, for example, BMW 1 and BMW, for example, 2, different version of BMW, and BMW, for example, 3, and BMW 4. And the other column that I want to add it here is, for example, name. I added a Jack 1. Also here we have a Jack 2 because it is easy to use. jag3 user redundant quotation frequently, okay, and the jag4. Let's print df1. There is a syntax error here. We write the other columns into first columns actually. Okay, car and the name for the first and the second column, and as you can see, BMW to BMW4 and jag1 to jag4 is located in the correct position. So as you remember, we can set index here. I set index, for example, A, B, C, and D. And as you can see, 0 to 4 change into A, B, C, and D. But if I want to change the default index from 0 and it start, for example, from 100, what should I do? I should use range index. For example, I said int1 pandas dot range index and set it from, for example, 100 to 104 and pass it this one. Instead of this index, I use it int1, and as you can see, 100, 101, 102, and 103 are located instead of our previous indexes. But we have other ways. We can use multiple indexes. For example, the student ID and the national ID can be, both of them can be, for example, the indexes. So sometimes one index is not enough for us. So in these cases, we go into multiple index, and we set pandas multiple index, and I can create, for example, from array. Very simple. I use it, for example, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the other array, for example, A and B and C and D. So I need to put this array in another parenthesis, and I create in 2. As you can see, the multiple indexes is created. The first value of the first row and the first value of the second row is joined together, and the second value of the first row and the second value of the second row joined together as well, and it's created like this. So how can I set these indexes into this data frame? Easily, I can put it in 2 here. As you can see, 1 and A is 2 indexes for this column. The previous data frame 1 has just 1 column, but this one has 2 indexes. Okay. Also, I can set names for our indexes because maybe we will confuse in the future if we want to take different indexes. So I can say, for example, index 1 and index 2 here, and as you can see, index 1 and index 2 is set as the name of our index. The other way of creating index is pandas dot multiple index and from tuples. In a previous way, we just set array and it created by itself. The tuple is created by itself, but I want to create a tuple by myself. So I say, for example, 1 and A for the first index, the second one, for example, 4 and 5. There isn't any limitation to use a string or number, just a string or just number. We can define everything together. And also, for example, I don't know, and for example, 22. Okay. I can print int 3 to see what's happening here. As you can see, this is the first tuple as I defined. This is the second tuple as I defined, third and the fourth tuple. So the other way of setting index is just not to put an index into the index parameter. I can usually set the index easily with a set index and pass it index into this function. I say in 3, and as you can see, 1 and A, 4 and 5, D, F, F, K, and 22 as our indexes. Also, we can set names here. For example, I said, I don't know, A and this is all about that you need to know about the series and indexes. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to give us thumbs up and a like, and if you have a question, please comment below. See you and bye bye.